Live. You're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 on Steam Deck. Thanks to Deep Silver for providing a code of the game. I forgot to put that on the video, so Deep Silver, thanks for the code, I appreciate that. How's it going, guys? Hi there. This will be at 800p right away, and we're going to start on low, but maybe we can go to medium, who knows. So when it comes to verification, there's a developer comment of this one. So they said something about the game on Steam Deck. They said... Really? It's not going to load? Okay, hang on, I'll fix it. I won't. Okay, it works, it's not verified, but the developer said, okay, you can play it on Steam Deck. So that's a good sign. They didn't say, oh yeah, it's verified. Martín, ¿qué tal? Someone somewhere, yeah, 80 gigabytes. So if we go into storage, when it's installed, it's 81 gigabytes. Oh, my head is behind it, hang on. My face is in front of it. There it goes. 81 gigabytes. So you need space on your SD card. I have to delete something at some point. Anyway, so let's hit play and see what happens. FSR 3.1. I don't know which FSR it is, but it looks okay. It looks similar to what the game looks with TAA. Yeah. Says still not in the cloud. Huh. Oh, of course. I forgot to turn off my PC. Hold up. Not turn it off, actually. I forgot to actually close the game. LMAO. No wonder. It doesn't allow me to launch it. There it goes. Does FSR 3.1 look better than FSR 3? I mean, it should. The thing is, sometimes it includes frame gen and sometimes it doesn't. It should technically be better. So as I was saying, this is my first look at the game on Steam Deck. I never played this game on Steam Deck. It's my first time. And the graphics settings are pretty small. So by default, the game is at 800p, low settings with VSync on, balanced mode. So it's the internal TAA, per object motion blur, and near depth of field. Let's disable motion blur and depth of field. Then when it comes to graphics, everything on low. So it's low with balanced upscaling, basically. Let's call it balanced SMAA 2TX. So basically the in-game upscaler. Let's go in order. So the first part of the game is not demanding. It looks demanding, but it's not. Yeah, the first game on the CPU side is pretty intensive. On this one, I still haven't gotten to a big town. But again, this is, as usual, first impressions. So we'll see. Yeah, it's listed as playable, doesn't mean verified, but at this point, verified doesn't mean much. Just the fact that they didn't put it as verified actually is good. They said, okay guys, it's playable on Steam Deck. That's good. I'm guessing they're not verified because the text can be pretty small. Does it have stutters? We're about to find out. Again, this is installed on the NVMe drive. I never opened the game on Steam Deck. This is the first launch. Awesome, Lethal Wick. Okay, it loaded. And as I was saying a moment ago, this section looks demanding, but it's a lie. It's a lie because it's a confined area. And by confined area, I mean that it's a small castle, there's a good amount of enemies, and it looks pretty impressive. But it's not the most demanding part of the game, not even close. This part runs even much better than some close parts on the GPU side. But again, we're on balanced upscaling, which still looks pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with... Actually, I think it looks a bit better than the FSR option. The native one is actually pretty cool. Does it run better than the first one? No, the first one definitely does run better. But that makes sense. It doesn't look better than this one. On this one, you can tell that the devs have way more experience building video games. But it looks pretty good. And by the way, I'm playing this on a 4K screen, so mine looks a bit blurry. But on the... just keep in mind that you're playing this on a 7-inch screen. Anyway, so that's the first part. Then the other part that came to my attention is when you're riding the horse with your comrades at the beginning of the game, that you can kind of see the paw pain and all that. You play 30 minutes and some audio stutters sometimes. So far the audio has been fine on mine. I don't pay a lot of attention, but when the audio, but when there's audio stutters, I think it's pretty the norm to notice it. I mean, if it was there, I would probably notice it. Definitely. You would probably do a mix of medium and high in 1080p. On which card? On a 4060, you can do high just fine. Depends which Ryzen 5. I will lock it to 60, but yeah. Okay, it loaded.
Well, Henry, looking forward to new adventures.
This looks great. As I said, the calling these low settings, it should be a felony. It looks pretty damn good. I mean, so far it's good when it comes to performance. I'm going to show you a couple more areas so you can check for yourself. But I can probably increase the draw distance a little bit. It's a bit too low and shouldn't destroy the performance that much. The combat feels way better on the first one. Yeah, by a long shot. It's not the best combat, but it's way better combat than the original.
I intend to make the most of this trip, one way or another.
So do I. How is that?
Yeah, it fits on 16 gigabytes in total so far. 3600? Yeah, it should be fine. No, this is not native res. This is balanced upscaling, using SMAA 2TX instead of FSR. It's basically the internal scaler of the game. Let me put FSR so it's clearer. FSR. It looks a bit different with FSR. It actually runs better with FSR. What the hell? 51? So that was native resolution. Okay. Okay, I eat my words. It was native resolution. What the hell? That was native. We have a lot of room to spare then. No wonder it looks so sharp.
We're not enemies.
And who are you?
Henry.
Yeah, it drops a little bit in the cutscenes, in the real-time ones. It doesn't allow me to change settings.
I'm a soldier. My job is from the one and
Even an arm. So what?
Yeah, and the rogue ally, it will be...
we want to. That's why we're.
You can probably do
talking.
1080p on that one.
You don't. Didn't you? Don't. We've come. Our message. All right. You make. Indeed. Thank you.
Let's see. Turning off depth of field will help in cutscenes. Unfortunately, you cannot turn it off, but you can turn off the close depth of field, which is a depth of field for when you have like a crossbow. So yeah, it actually works on native resolution. That's pretty damn impressive. I thought when it said balanced over here, it meant that it was using upscaling with the in-game upscaler, but no, actually this thing does nothing if technology is turned off. So it was native all this time. That's awesome. That means that I have some room to spare to increase the settings. But if you want to play native on low, I'll lock it to 30. There are probably going to be drops into the upper 20s at native. That's my guess. So let me check very quickly the scene. This one. This scene has, I don't know why it drops a lot of frames on my PC, on the GPU side. But on the Steam Deck is running way better than it has no business running like this. No, it's good. Okay. So if you want to play on native, that's completely fine. Just put the game on low. That's all I'm asking. Lock it to 30 and put it on low. I might be able to squeeze a couple extra things. So usually on the PC, by increasing the objects to medium, the vegetation and the character detail, I was able to get a little bit more draw distance out of it. Yeah, there we go. Much better. So yeah, imagine how it will be on Steam Deck 2. So before I continue any further, there it goes. I need to zoom in, otherwise you won't see anything. So as I was saying, by default it's at 800p. Here it says balanced, but it does nothing without this option turned on. So we're actually playing on native, funnily enough. I thought it was upscaled and I was like, man, it looks so sharp. And it was because it was native. Settings, by default is everything on low. My advice is to increase the object quality to medium. This is for the draw distance. You'll notice it right away. Vegetation, medium, characters on medium, and the rest on low. Shadows is super demanding, but this is one of the big ones when it comes to visuals. And I'll just cap it to 30 FPS. So go into the profile and put it at 30. Oops. So open up this menu and put it at 30 FPS. So now that I'm here, let me unplug the charger. So you can see the actual battery life. All right. So how's battery life? Let's move around a little. Yeah, maybe 2.5 hours. But again, this part with heavy foliage is when I dropped on the GPU performance the most. But the fact that we're on native resolution blows my mind. Unless they forced like 50% resolution, but the game looks pretty sharp, considering it's 800p. Anyway, to lower the resolution, yes, we're going to do it in a moment. Instead of UE5 nanite shimmering, quarter resolution, noise and force blur with upscaling, CryEngine is a breath of fresh air. It's been a while since we had a CryEngine game that is not Hunt Showdown or Crisis. Let's go to the town. Is there any reason why CryEngine is not more widely adopted? I have no idea. I'm guessing there's more tools for Unreal. Well, you have all the marketing buzzwords as well.
Hey, over here.
Also, I remember that Crytek lost a lot of money because they built too many studios too quickly and they had to close them down. And CryEngine wasn't the same when it came to support. Epic is a way larger company than Crytek. So I'm guessing when it comes to the support and all that, they had better tools ready for Unreal. That's my guess. But they did a great job on this one so far. So you get on the OLED 2.5 hours of battery with a 30 FPS lock, native res, medium to low settings. Some minor stutters when traversing, but the CPU is maxing out when those micro stutters happen. Oh, I know. The real test is to actually load the horse parts that I saved. Is a realistic feel it gives? Yeah, I'm guessing. It's not PS2 quality. I think you played the wrong PS2. Okay, here we goes.
Quick.
Also, by the way, I increased the game object detail and the vegetation quality to medium. Those that were the ones I increased in order for the pop-in to be less obvious when you're traversing. So there will be pop-in, obviously, but it's way less obvious on this setting, and we still have room to spare. A little bit of room to spare. Because we haven't touched upscaling yet. Performance is going great, actually.
Just a bit further.
I would say it makes no sense that it runs like this. Come on, get up. Thank you. In a good way, it makes no sense. It looks nice. Also, on the smaller screen, I mean, the game itself already looks a bit soft. But on the smaller screen, I mean, it's native resolution. So that's way better than most new games on Steam Deck today. And despite being on low, just by increasing the draw distance, it's already a big difference. I don't think we can do 40s. We're already CPU bound at some points with 30 FPS. But I think we can push it a little bit further with upscaling.
Whoa.
Hey, did you forget your clothes? Right now.
The horse was startled. Uh-oh. Well, no wonder they chased me. I'm actually running without a shirt in my underwear. And I stole a horse. I mean, look at me at the right. He's just trying to catch up. Your armor is too heavy! 4 Corsair threads. Yeah. I mean, if you guys remember, 4 Corsair threads was top of the line i7s 10 years ago. So technically 4 Corsair threads is not a lot, but it used to be top of the line until Ryzen came out and destroyed everything, which is good. I'm happy about that. Competition. Okay. Let's now, well, to sum up the settings that I recommend so far, 800p, native, everything on low except in objects, vegetation and character detail. Those things on medium, increase the draw distance, don't destroy performance, and you can really notice the difference right away. I mean, the draw distance is so much better on medium. And this should give you 2 to 2.5 hours of battery on the OLED. Oops. So it shouldn't be an issue. But we can actually go lower. How do we go lower? We use upscaling. It's funny that upscaling in this game is optional, basically. So FSR quality. Let's unlock the frame rate for a second. FSR quality, we jump from 46 to, looking in at the ground, 46 to 52. Sorry, to 60. FSR quality. So let me show you the settings once more. 800p. FSR quality now. I recommend decreasing the sharpness a little bit. Looks a bit over sharpened with upscaling. Medium objects, the rest on low, and vegetation and characters on medium as well. I'm with an unlocked frame rate now, so the CPU is going to do way more work. This is the same settings as before. What version of FSR? It's probably FSR 3 point something. Just a guess, of course.
What? What's going on? Well, it seems like this was a waste of time.
Let me reload. GPU is crying. Yeah, GPU and CPU will cry if your frame rate is unlocked. So if you use upscaling with these settings, I would say it's for battery life purposes. So same settings as before now, but with an unlocked frame rate and FSR. Let's go into a town. Yeah, no wonder it runs at 60 on the consoles. I agree. Good point. But that's a good thing. I mean, the game still looks great, in my opinion. Although I'm seeing something weird into the distance. But again. Yeah, cry engine.
Whoa, whoa.
But again, this part, I'm trying to make the CPU cry, actually. I wouldn't use an unlocked frame rate on the Steam Deck just for the sake of battery life. Maybe we can keep it at 40s locked, maybe.
Listen to what I have to say. Only a blind man
Keep the
can't see
peace,
it.
and we won't have any trouble.
Sigismund is 1,000 times better than when
Yeah, maybe 45 with upscaling, although it looks a bit soft with upscaling. Yeah, quality FSR looks a bit softer, definitely, you can notice. I noticed because I have the image of the Steam Deck blown up on a 27-inch screen, 4K screen. So it makes sense that it looks blurry. But it looks a bit blurrier than native, especially the trees, you can notice it. It's a bit chunkier. VRAM usage below the CPU 7. It's at 8.1 and the RAM is at 10 gigs. So what I would do with this is go here, lock it to 30. Why would you do that? Why not 45? I mean, 45 is nice, but being such a GPU intensive game and CPU as well with a higher frame rate, in order to make the battery life survive, more than 2.5 hours, I think this should be the best, because you lower the resolution with upscaling, so the GPU load is lower. You lock the frame rate to 30, so the CPU doesn't go crazy, the GPU as well. That means less resources to render the game, and at the same time, less power usage, so battery life should be better. 30 FPS lock and everything on minimum, and even the deck could be happy. This is really cool. Yeah, I agree. It's pretty impressive. Isn't 70 degrees too hot for a handheld? No, it doesn't burn your hand, because when you're grabbing, I mean, just let's imagine that my controller, imagine this was a Steam Deck. So the Steam Deck is like this wide. You're grabbing this part, the hot part is in the middle, so you're not touching the hot part of the Steam Deck. Also, the LCD Steam Deck gets to 90 degrees sometimes, so you'll be fine. You're not grabbing the hot part of the console. And that sounded dirty, but let's pretend I didn't say it. Fan noise on the OLED is fine. The one that is very noisy is the LCD Steam Deck, especially the first fan revision. Although now that I'm seeing this with the upscaling, power usage is almost the same. But anyway, that's an option. But since we have room to spare with the quality FSR, let's keep it at 30 FPS. And let's be a little bit stupid and increase the settings a bit further. Let's see if we can make shadows look better. They still look fine. But just as a test, we're going to go into a part that has lots of shading and shadows and stuff. Yeah, I'll try a 40 FPS lock. I need a second. I just want to stress test it a little bit. I think shadows on medium will kill it right away. Okay, it doesn't seem to. Yeah, let's go this stupid mode. Stupid mode engaged. Let's put it on high with some stuff on low. Like this. So why shadows on high? Well, that's because some parts of the game cast shadows that on medium shadows don't appear. But let's see if it kills it. Okay, it's loading. Now I cast a shadow on the ground. I'm at 27 FPS looking at the ground, so that's not going to cut it. But the difference, again, the difference is that there's more objects that actually cast shadows. Which again, on a portable machine, who cares? I mean, wow, now all candles cast shadows. Oh my god, it's so useful for a portable machine. Made high FSR balance. So yeah, as you can see, this kills performance. I mean, this casts shadows, the outside light casts shadows, the candles cast shadows. It's ridiculous, but it looks amazing. I'll do the same as I did before. But again, shadows on high is very, very taxing. As you can see, if I lower everything besides shadows, the game doesn't care. It's still below 30. But as soon as you lower shadows to anything below high, boom, goes up. But now these smaller lights don't cast shadows. Oh no, unplayable. 1 out of 10. It's fine. I'm pretty impressed. So let me sum up super quick. Before I do that. So again, the settings that I recommend, It's actually native resolution. So native 800p. On the advanced settings, medium object for draw distance, the rest on low, and vegetation. And what's the other one? And character detail on medium. Why do I do this? For draw distance purposes. It's just a little bit of polish and a 30 FPS cap. And then a scene like this that has, well, quite a bit of stuff when it comes to visuals. Can still do 30s. There might be some drops into the upper 20s in specific moments. But I mean, if I look at the overall image, like here when we're horse riding, it's okay. So FSR native AA. It looks nice and sharp.
Well, Henry, looking forward to new adventures? Adventures that will become the stuff of legends?
Of course I am. We'll show them what fine.
Yeah, 0.5 out of 10. The candle doesn't cast shadows.
We'll hand over our important message.
But again, those are sacrifices that need to be made for a portable machine especially.
Chase some local wenches, eh?
So 30 FPS lock, keep it like that so you have better draw distance.
Maybe he's just testing me.
Aye. It does
They're
look
still
like
popping, obviously,
he'll hand over
especially
all
the
that
shadows.
high estates to you one day. So I expect he wants to be sure you won't botch it.
Of course.
But still.
How could I possibly botch
Yeah, the
it?
game runs pretty good.
Foreign armies rampaging through
Again, native resolution on a Steam Deck on a new game.
God knows where.
When does that happen?
Are in the middle of it all, carrying
It's weird that Valve didn't mark it as verified.
I intend to make the most of
Because Valve verifies anything,
So do I. How is that?
quote unquote.
Al dente fortuna.
I mean, Belgard with Ultra Performance FSR is verified,
There's the
and it barely hits 30s. This one runs at 30 on native resolution, and Valve says, it's playable. It's hilarious.
all good, Oates. Just keep your eyes on
Yeah,
the
this
road
will
ahead.
keep you right on the border of 30. If you don't care about native resolution, you can do it on quality FSR or put the settings on low. By default, the game is at native with low settings. This is mid-low, not mid-high. But again, it's there. Maybe the real-time cutscenes are what's going to drop.
We're not enemies. We're carrying
And the
a
depth of
message
field,
against
you cannot turn it off in
the
cutscenes,
hostility.
only for
Who are
gameplay.
you? Henry,
That's why it drops.
from Skalitz.
I cannot go to the settings now.
I'm a soldier. My job
From Skalitz, the one on Eve and so what?
Yeah. I played this before.
That's what you might be. That should be. Or is it?
You don't think you don't
Never got a live playtest? Well, here it is. Hi there.
Thank you.
Happy to have ya. How's it going?
Farewell.
Okay, now outside of the cutscene. I forgot to restart the game though. I changed many settings already. Yeah, it's right at the edge. If you want to smooth this out, FSR quality, and you'll be good to go. So go into graphics, quality FSR. And that should smooth out those drops into the upper 20s and give you more battery life. It looks a bit softer, but again, a smaller screen. I'll show you at the end of the stream. But again, it's looking damn good. So some of you guys asked me for 40-45 FPS cap. I think 40 should be doable. Let me see if I can do it from the options menu itself. 30 or 60 only, really. Yeah, the issue is that since I'm connected to a screen, it doesn't allow me to do 40s from the Steam Deck thing. I'm thinking there's probably another way. Anyway, I'll show you unlock frame rates, and you guys can judge for yourselves. So 800p, 800p, FSR quality. Again, if you have a Steam Deck, you can lock it to 40 or 45. Then at advanced graphics, I increase the object quality to medium for draw distance, low on the rest, and vegetation and characters on medium as well. Again, just small changes. You can put everything on low if you want to. And let's see if it stays into the 40s. I'm pretty sure once we get to a big town, it's going to be pretty bad due to the CPU performance. The CPU performance, especially on horseback going to a town, can go pretty hard. So I'm not sure if you can maintain 40s. I'll have to keep playing the game to find out. Well, thank you so much, Darren. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Happy to be here. Yeah, it's pretty smooth so far. So now I'm going to show you very quickly the intro, which is not demanding, but hey, it's something. At least there's more NPCs. And then we're going to run around a horse outside and we'll call it quits. It's funny, I was expecting this to run way worse. This blew me away. By the way, it's loading, that's why it's taking a bit. The loading screen is behind my back, that's why you cannot see it. Oh, nice. Yeah, this one runs pretty damn well. It's clear that the developers learned a lot from making the first game. Okay, let's see. Okay, actually, this part uses a lot of CPU now. Yep. Yeah, I'll definitely lock it to 30. This part doesn't use a lot of GPU, but on the CPU side, the Steam Deck really feels this section. Yeah, good thing it's not UE5. Imagine doing it correctly. Oops. Remember when CryEngine was awesome before UE5 came along? Rise Son of Rome, that's a great looking game to this day. I mean, CryEngine always looked good. I just remember that the first game ran horrible with the cards that released at that time. I even remember it was a Kickstarter game. Yeah, considering this is low, it looks pretty damn good. I agree. I mean, you can notice that it's on low in certain moments. It's more obvious than others. I'll show you in a moment. But when it comes to 40 FPS, I wouldn't count on it. Just because of CPU limitation. Yeah, UE5 is now a swear word. Excuse me, sir, why didn't you use Unreal Engine 5 to build the game? For PR reasons. We just look bad if we used it. People wouldn't buy our game. I mean, that could happen. For public relation reasons, we're using another engine. Yeah, on a small screen, it passes the test with flying colors. So what's one of the big differences of using medium to low settings instead of high? High is much more demanding, obviously. Well, one of the things is this light over here would actually produce shadows. Just the fact that we can, I mean, if this was a UE5 game, this probably would still cast shadows on the lowest settings. So again, they actually, same here, this would cast shadows if we were on the high preset. So So again, it's an understandable sacrifice. We could have... Yeah, I mean, as a kid, if I saw that this was a portable experience, mind blown. Sad Witcher is on UE5 now. We hope it's good. I mean, I already saw the TSR artifacts in the Witcher 4 trailer. There's a cutscene. This is not gameplay, this is a cutscene. A video cutscene, an FMV. There we go, I skipped it. Skyrim style game. No, this is more RPG than Skyrim. It's more grounded as well. You have to eat, you have to actually be good at fighting. It's kind of a Skyrim, but more grounded, I would say. Way more grounded. Do you guys like noise? Because we have plenty of it. What? It's loading. Yeah, it could be that the engine itself is bad, but I think it's just easy to make something and optimize on UE5 because by default it has a lot of stuff loaded in
Henry, looking forward to
that
new
not
episodes
necessarily everybody will
from
use.
the stuff of legends.
Of course I am. We'll show them what fine fellas have turned up on their doorstep.
Yeah, I mean,
You bet we will.
you could lock it to 40, but it won't stay there across the board. Maybe lower the game object detail, which is the draw distance.
Some local wenches, eh? But why didn't Uncle Hannah
So yeah, the draw distance, you can be a bit more aggressive with it. I think low is a little bit too much
Doesn't
pop
look
in.
like that. He'll hand over all the Ratai estates to you one day.
But again, it's more of a 30 FPS game if you ask me. Yeah, the plasticky look of Unreal Engine, yeah, I agree. It does have a built-in look. If the developer doesn't try to change it, it will still look like an Unreal Engine game, to say it in some way. Has a pretty distinctive look. Then this is when you get to the open world, quote-unquote. It's an open world, yeah. I haven't gotten to any big castle as of yet. There's a wedding on this part, and I haven't gotten to this part. But the thing is, when you start running around,
Well,
Put some clothes on.
it's higher CPU usage. I haven't gotten to a big town as of yet. Let's get some clothes on. And my thoughts that why it's not verified, despite this performance, is that the text is very small. If you look at the inventory, in the inventory screen, text is a bit too small. But that's it. The game's looking great and performing way better than I expected. I just don't know what else to say. It's fantastic so far. Although we're memory limited, definitely. But again, it's just like a stutter or two when I first get to this open world. Now I'm going on horseback just to make the CPU cry a bit more. Oops,
Easy! Easy!
I went too hard. You can use the magnifier as long as you remember the proper button combo. Yeah, good point. You can also use a mouse by holding the Steam key. Isn't Kingdom Come Deliverance still running on CryEngine? Yeah. No, we're just talking trash of Unreal Engine because CryEngine is running at native resolution at 30 FPS on a Steam Deck on day one.
Quick!
That's basically what we're doing. This is a CryEngine game. What deck power profile are you using? Default. I never touched the power presets. And if I do, I let people know in the chat. Let me reload my stamina of the horse.
Quick!
That's okay, don't worry.
Quick!
Okay, discovered the town. I thought the ground didn't load, but no, it's actually water.
By the shore.
But again, you can do 40s. In some parts, due to CPU limitation, it'll drop into the upper 30s, but I think a 30 FPS cap with native resolution makes more sense. Yeah, I mean, I'm using upscaling just because I'm trying to get 40s. But so far, so good. Let's stop for a second. Horse needs stamina. Have you already been in Gutenberg? What is that in the map? I need to know. Oh, that was close. The main city? Let me see. I'm trying to... I have no idea because I started the game a few hours ago. I mean, they made the first game run on the Switch, right? It's called Gutenberg. Oh, there's a second map. Is that for real? There's more than this map? Jesus. Gutenberg. Okay, I don't know where it is. But I thought that the map ended here, basically. I was like, okay, the map is huge. And then some of you guys told me, no, actually, there's a second part. And then I scrolled up and there's more. So I'm probably not going to find the big city today. Probably the city is going to be more demanding on the CPU. Hence the 30 FPS recommendation. It's an entirely different map. So, okay, so that's not the end of the map. Gotcha. That's hilarious. Let's fill up the horse. Yeah. I mean, considering there's a bigger map ahead, my point still stands on locking it to 30 FPS. So again, by default, let's just finish the video. I think we saw enough. So first thing that I would do, go here, lock it to 30. Go to the settings, 800p. You can do FSR quality or native resolution. The thing with native resolution, sometimes it can drop into the upper 20s in very thick forest locations. So if you want to have the certainty that it will stay at 30 across the board, this is recommended. Then when it comes to graphics settings, by default is everything on low, which is fine. But the draw distance is a little bit too aggressive, the pop-in. So medium object is recommended. Everything else on low. And character and vegetation on medium, again for the pop-in. And this should keep you at a solid 30. And visuals are pretty consistent. It's not, of course, the best looking way to play the game, obviously. But it's stable, and probably if we get to a more CPU heavy part with more buildings, that you guys told me is a completely different map, then it's probably going to be better to just lock it to 30. It's struggling to hit 40s in the first town, so probably the other map is going to be even more expensive on the CPU. Yeah, the first one had a terrible launch. But again, the first one was a Kickstarter. On this one, they clearly know what they're doing in comparison. I'm thinking what else I can show you, but I think I showed you everything. No, it doesn't look bad at all. Again, pretty impressive. Yeah, a CryEngine comeback. I think so. It's pretty funny. But again, moments like these is where the GPU cries the most. This is the sections where native resolution can offer drops to 29, 28. But again, we're talking about a new game that has very good visuals even on low. So, GG. Yeah, at 4K, it's a completely different experience. I mean, you can see the, well, the leaves look way more defined. Also the textures, the rocks, everything. I played at 4K on a 4060 a few moments ago. It's razor sharp. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be able to play this on Steam Deck comfortably without using ultra performance upscaling. This is just quality FSR, but just because I want to stay into the 30s. It's not like I'm using this because I need to keep it on quality. It's just because I want to maintain it a little bit closer. So GG, well played. GG to the developers. GG to Warhorse Studios. And thanks again to Deep Silver for providing a code of the game. Do I recommend this on Steam Deck? At the moment, yes, but lock it to 30 FPS and that's about it. Yeah, in the game options you can do it, but the frame times are not the best. Up to you. You try it. Inside the game, I don't have a great experience using in-game FPS logs, but you can try it. Usually latency is better if you use the in-game solution, but generally I get worse frame times, but less latency. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did finding out that this actually is fine on Steam Deck. In my opinion, it should be verified. I mean, Valve, again, marks whatever they want as verified. But it's not verified because some in-game text is small, which is understandable, like the first game. And this game sometimes shows mouse, keyboard, and non-Steam Deck icons. But there's games running on ultra performance FSR at sub 30 FPS that are verified, so I don't know. Thank you guys. See you next time. Love you all.